To make you aware on behalf of parish government that your DPW department is doing everything that they must do to be prepared for this event. They are doing that collaboratively with the Sheriff's Office and with the Office of Emergency Preparedness. We are as ready as we can possibly be for what we feel like is still an unpredictable event. We know that it will come in two phases, as the director and the sheriff have mentioned, and so we want you to be patient and cautious. In fact, we want you to exercise an abundance of caution. Do not go around barricades. Don't drive through standing water. And if you are anxious, which you have every right to be, considering the devastation in our parish in 2016, if you are anxious and concerned about your safety or that of your family and friends, now is the time. Tomorrow will be too late. The weather will have gotten too bad. You need to make a decision in the next few hours that to put yourselves and your family, your children, in a position of safety and security. Your Ascension Parish Council has a seat in the Offices of Emergency Preparedness, so if you know your councilman and need to reach your councilman, feel free to do that. And they will be taking phone calls on a rotational basis inside the OEP.
All right, we are listening right now to a press conference with the Ascension Parish emergency official leaders. Right now, the governor is at the podium, and we are going to listen in to this.
I think the better we're going to be able to perform all the way through. I gave you all an update at 12:30 as far as the storm itself, and we don't have any real new information about that. But I did want to thank Mayor President Sharon Weston Groom from East Baton Rouge Parish, Parish President Leighton Ricks from Livingston, William Daniel, who is the CAO of Public Works in Ascension Parish, Jason Manola, who's the Chief Administrator of West Baton Rouge Parish, and Iberville Parish, Brett Stassi. They, along with members of their team, were here for the meeting. And they are here because in just a moment, we're going to see what questions you may have, and you may choose to direct a question to one of these individuals, or you may not have a question at all. Obviously, we have an experienced team of leaders from these parishes, and we have a lot of experience just over the last few years, especially going back to 2016 with multiple flood fights. And so in 2016, the difference was there wasn't preparation time. There wasn't warning time. That was not a named storm, and the forecast wasn't there to give us or to give the citizens warning. This time we have that opportunity. And together, we really want to make another effort to convince citizens to take this storm seriously. We know that it's going to be a Category 1 upon landfall, and I know that sometimes people tend to say, well, I've experienced stronger storms. That may be true from a wind perspective. We're going to get more than we want from a rain perspective. And that rain is going to cause flooding. It's going to get in the rivers. We can remember what that was like previously, whether it was the Tangipahoa River, the Tickfaw River, the Ingy, the Comey, you name it. And so this is going to be a very serious storm, and we're asking people to particularly pay attention to it and prepare. Unlike 2016, where there wasn't an opportunity. We're also asking people to be vigilant and cautious and not drive through standing water, for example, unless they're absolutely certain that it's safe to do so. So having said that, if you've got particular questions for me or for the members of the team that's assembled behind me, you can ask them at this time. I do want to also thank all the legislators who are here from the Capital Region as well, both from the west side of the Mississippi River and those here on the east side, because they have been doing an awful lot of work to prepare their constituents for this particular storm. So having said that, if you've got a question, now would be the time to proceed.
Mayor Brown, if you don't mind, do you have any anticipation of any curfews in place maybe tomorrow or in the next few days for East Baton Rouge?
At this point, it would be premature to enact curfews. Of course, we're monitoring the weather event And as we proceed down this path, I think we will have ample time to make that decision and enact it if need be.
Mayor, are you worried that your house is going to flood again?
That's a good question, Mark. I am not worried. I am more prepared this time than I was in 2016.
We will try to provide as long as we can. Also, if you are subject to flooding, and as they mentioned back, the 2016 flood,
I did none of that before, and in fact, when I left there that Saturday, I thought I was coming back the Sunday, and I didn't get back until a year and a half later. So I learned a tough lesson, and I think it's important that our citizens be proactive and be prepared, and I certainly feel a lot more prepared right now than I did in 2016.
Mayor President, can you talk about how the parish of East Baton Rouge was proactive ahead of this storm? You know, what kinds of things did we do as a parish to prepare and try and clear out drains and that
Yeah,
sort of thing?
absolutely. I have to give a great heart of gratitude to our Department of Public Works. They have been working tirelessly to make sure that those areas that have historically been known to have flooding, they've been cleaning those areas out early on. We've been using a mapping system to identify those specific areas, and so they've taken action. And I have to thank the citizens of our community as well, because they have been communicating with us on a consistent basis surrounding areas that maybe need additional attention, and we've been responsive. I will tell you, we've given out earlier today, almost 177,000 sandbags. So we have been proactive. We've been collaborating with our local elected officials. I can't thank the governor and his team enough for working with us. And so I feel that we have done a lot of things in a proactive phase, and that we will see the fruit of what we've done.
Sheriff Stassi, did you want to say something?
I'd just like to say something about, on behalf of all the sheriffs in the capital region. If you don't have to get out tonight and during this storm that we have coming, please stay home. Allow the people for us to work on the people who do need us, and we don't want to be chasing down every sightseer on every street that heard they had water or water had gone in a home. These type activities cause further damage to the people already in distress. We're just getting over this 2016, and we can see the fear in our people's eyes. So please allow law enforcement to help the people who need it. We don't need to be chasing down people, sightseers, and potential looters in these areas, and allow the proper personnel to do the job that we're here to do.
Thank you. Okay, without there being, oh, there was one.
Is there any thoughts of evacuating Livingston or Ascension, Santa Monica, those areas that?
Well, I'm going to let the parish president.
No, sir. We have no intention of doing a mandatory evacuation in Livingston. We know we've got some low-lying areas that will probably take on water from what we're seeing in the amount of water. We feel like we're better prepared. We will have some shelters that we will be announcing at a later time, to where we'll be moving our people around as we need to. But no, sir, we're not going to do a mandatory evacuation.
All right, that was the governor's press conference after the governor met with several area parish leaders. We're going to join again the Ascension Parish Operation of Emergency Preparedness press conference that is ongoing right now. One thing we missed in that press conference while the governor was speaking, Ascension Parish announced that they will be opening Lamar Dixon Expo Center as a shelter, and that will open at 8 p.m. tonight. We'll get those details for you on our 9 News app. But again, the Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Ascension Parish will open at 8 p.m. Here's Rick Weber, the OEP director.
But we'll definitely make it available to get these animals out of harm's way if need be.
Have you heard any reports or any concerns about levies, people on the
The Mississippi River levees?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, we follow the reports that come in from the levee districts. We see the normal things that come through, and it's low right now. But we're always seeing the same things that we've seen every year. Nothing that strikes that makes us have any more concern than we'd had any other year. But we can see the normal sandballs and things that we see every year. Okay. Any other questions?
What about transportation to the shelter, if that's needed? Or is that kind of a standby thing, or are you prepared for that?
Normally when people evacuate the areas, they have the transportation to get to the shelter. But again, any need that you may have during this incident, 450-1200 is the number to call. We've got some buses that are available if we need to move people around, so we can make that happen if need be. Anything else? All right, guys, this concludes our press conference. Thank you so much for the service that you do to the community and getting this information out to them. Thank you.
All right, folks, those were the latest updates that we have heard both from the governor as well as officials in Ascension Parish. Again, one of the biggest takeaways in Ascension Parish, they are opening the Lamar-Dixon Expo Center as a shelter at 8 o'clock tonight. So if you need to take shelter, if you need to get out of the area, maybe if you live in a low-lying area that is conducive to flooding, that is an area where you can go is to Lamar-Dixon. A good number to write down if you are in Ascension Parish, if you need help. The OEP director there saying that the number to call is 450-1200, 450-1200 if you are in Ascension Parish. Again, we'll hear more from these officials coming up on 9 News at 5. We'll also have the latest track, and we'll check back in with our meteorologist. Until then, we're going to return you back to our regular programming. Thanks for sticking with us.